From downtown to the counties, time now for the top 7 at 7, where we bring you the 7 stories making the biggest impact in your communities tonight.
In earlier reporting, I told you how the Major Richer Star Act could affect thousands of combat wounded veterans, including hundreds here in Maryland. I'm Sayera Williams, your Voice for Veterans reporter, and I would like to give you a deeper look at what the bill is designed to do, what the current policy requires, and why legislation remains stalled even with bipartisan support. A federal bill that would restore full retirement pay for combat injured veterans has more than 300 co-sponsors, but it hasn't come up for a vote. The Major Richer Star Act would let combat injured, medically retired service members collect both their full military retirement pay and VA disability compensation. Right now, veterans who retire early due to combat injuries lose $1 of retirement pay for every dollar they receive in disability compensation. District 2 Congressman Johnny Olszewski is one of more than 315 co-sponsors, and he says the holdup is hard to explain.
315 co-sponsors, particularly in this partisan, polarized environment, is about as many as you're going to see on any piece of legislation. This was a no-brainer for me. It is a bipartisan bill that Democrats and Republicans alike overwhelmingly support.
Supporters say the bill could still move forward either by attaching it to a larger defense package or forcing a vote through a discharge petition. Sayera Williams, WMAR-2 News.
I'm Mallory Safaste. After a contract dispute between a major hospital system and an insurer disrupted care for 60,000 patients, state regulators are now pushing to change the law to better protect patients. The falling out between United Healthcare and Johns Hopkins wasn't just an inconvenience. For WMAR-2 News employee Julie Wigley, who lives with multiple sclerosis, it meant all new care teams.
So my team that I'd been working with since 2010, I had to say goodbye to and move on and find all new doctors, move appointments. I did qualify for continuing care, but continuing care was only 3 months.
Beyond finding new doctors, she needed new approvals for treatments.
Originally, I got denied at first through this new hospital, new service.
Those denials, along with short notice and confusing guidance, are why the Maryland Insurance Administration introduced new legislation.
This bill is absolutely, I think, all the tools in the toolbox we wish we had legally after the Johns Hopkins United dispute.
And it does several things, like requiring insurers to give earlier and clearer notice to patients and the state when contracts are ending. It would create a 90-day special enrollment period for people who buy individual insurance, though it would not apply to employer-sponsored plans. And it would require 90 days of continuity of care, in most cases automatically, without additional paperwork. A hearing on the Senate version of the bill is scheduled for next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mallory Safaste, WMAR-2 News.
I'm Jeff Morgan in Annapolis. Kanaya Ward's death is sparking change here in Annapolis. Lawmakers are moving to make sure what happened to Ward doesn't happen to anyone else. Kanaya Ward died in a Baltimore hotel under the supervision of the Maryland Department of Human Services. Her death put a spotlight on issues with Maryland's foster system. Kanaya's mother is part of the push to make sure this doesn't happen to someone else's child.
Kanaya was a wonderful daughter, and we will miss her. But I hope that you don't think we are here to just memorize the loss. We are hoping that the young men and women who need the help get it, and that the systems that rely upon to protect and serve them actually work.
The bill would require background checks for guardians. Lawmakers found out people who were convicted of crimes against children were allowed to foster children in the system. The legislation also ensures that children aren't being kept in an unlicensed facility like a hotel, as Kanaya was.
And it's unfortunate that it had to take this type of tragedy for people to finally stand up and pay attention. But the good news is, people are.
The Department of Human Services says all children under their care have been placed in licensed facilities. They've also started instituting some of the changes that are in this legislation. The bill would mainly codify them into law. It has bipartisan support. In Annapolis, Jeff Morgan, WMAR-2 News.
I'm Jack Watson from Maryland Cold Cases in Millersville. In 2003, as Hurricane Isabel threatened Maryland, a young man was shot, kidnapped, and was never found. Police are still trying to piece together what happened in his case. It's hard for Angela Daly to believe it's been 22 years. To her, Lamarche Porter was the eldest son all 3 of his siblings looked up to, a former Meade High School basketball player. On September 18, 2003, at Severn Tree Road and Chatfield Terrace, witnesses reported hearing a gunshot. Another witness said two people approached Lamarst, dragged him into his own car, and drove off in that car in another. A few days later, his car was found here, Woodhill Drive in Glen Burnie, 15 minutes away. Lamarst Porter's body was never found.
It's really hard. It's frustrating because you know how people can go visit a grave? I can't do that. So the only thing it's really hard.
If you can be the one to give Angela Daly closure, please contact Anne Arundel County Police at 410-222-4700. For Maryland Cold Cases, I'm Jack Watson.
Smoke alarms save lives. I'm Jeff Hager in Taneytown, and those devices are being credited with saving the lives of a couple who had to escape from their burning home here early Thursday. The fire broke out in the ground floor living room of a two-story home here on George Street in Taneytown just after 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, with a couple asleep in an upstairs bedroom.
Their bedroom is upstairs, so they didn't even know the house was on fire until the bedroom fire alarm had went off. And they opened up the door and the flames just gushed in.
Thanks to the alarm, the couple had time to crawl out of a window and down a small sloped side roof to safety. Fortunately, their 4 children were spending the night at one of their grandparents' homes at the time of the fire. Investigators have yet to determine what sparked the flames. In Taneytown, Jeff Hager, WMAR-2 News.
I'm Blair Sable in Ellicott City. Earlier this week, 55 on-call library staff, many of them shelvers, were given 2 weeks' notice that their positions were no longer needed. The Howard County Library System reports it's a budget issue, but the union here believes there's more going on.
Every single step of the way, they have proven to be as anti-worker as they possibly could be.
Megan Royden, president of the Howard County Library Workers United, says that the announcement came just days after they had reached a settlement for a 6% cost of living salary increase, one that was also extended to non-union management and supervisors. Christy Lassen, director of communications with the library system, says the move saves about $286,000 a year.
The union demands pay raises higher than the national average while we face budget shortfalls. We need to make it work through other means, including painful cuts like this one.
The union plans to rally at the library system's annual fundraiser this Saturday night. In Ellicott City, Blair Sable, WMAR-2 News.
I'm Christy Harper in Dorchester County. Hidden inside this swampy area is a story of resilience and a will to survive. Now, state archaeologists are working to reveal this important chapter of American history.
Iron's good. We like iron. Nails means structure.
Maryland Historical Trust Chief Archaeologist Matt Knight and his team are searching for the 19th century homestead of Jacob and Dinah Jackson, free Black people in mid-19th century Dorchester County. Educated and literate, Jackson farmed here and worked as a veterinarian. He also played a pivotal role in helping the 3 younger brothers of Harriet Tubman escape bondage.
Everything in archaeology is about location, and so we want to know where all of the artifacts are in relation to one another.
The National Park Service and the Maryland Historical Trust are working in partnership to identify any artifacts that may bring further understanding of how this community lived and survived. In Dorchester County, Christy Harper, WMAR-2 News.